Hi everyone, Lynn here, and I'm back again with another organizational video. I'm sorry that it's taken so long in between the last one and this one here, but I wanted to make sure that the system that I was using was actually working out for me before I showed it to you. So today we're going to talk about sprays, mists, and how I store them, as well as some of my ink pads. So I'm basically giving you a shot of one corner of my room right now, and I'm going to pan around and try not to make you sick, okay, so that you can see. Right here is my die cutting station, which you saw, I believe, in, I'm not sure if it was the last video or the one right before that. And a few things have changed over here, but not a whole lot. It's still all my punches and all my dies over here. So over here, right in here, used to be my big tall Alex unit, and I believe I also had a wardrobe dresser thing in there, which has moved. So now there is my old computer desk with some drawers underneath, storage on top, and this section over here in the corner hasn't changed much at all. It's pretty much the way it was before. But as you can see, right in here, this is where I'm storing all of my Lindy Starburst sprays, as well as my Moonshadow mists and the Glitz Spritz. And then over in here I have some more sprays and the distress paints. And then over here, up at the top, I have more mists and more Lindys down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on the tripod so I don't make you too crazy, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I know this is kind of a weird angle, but it was the only way I could film it so that you could see pretty much everything in this corner. So we're going to start off with talking about the Carousel, which I have right here. This is actually a acrylic paint caddy that I purchased, I want to say about 10-12 years ago from Michael's. It's specifically designed to hold craft paints, and that's what it held for a long time, up until I really got into the Lindy's sprays and was looking for a new way to store them. And one day I decided to just see if the bottles would fit in there, and lo and behold, they do. So I have been storing my sprays, or my Lindy's sprays, in there ever since. And I want to say, it's been about roughly 4 years or so since I've been doing that. Does it work? Yes, it does. Let me show you exactly what happens. Let's see if I can get this focused. Okay. When you store your sprays sideways, what happens, and especially you can see it with this particular bottle, the color stays on top and the mica powder falls down to the bottom. Now if you store it like this, then your mica powder is on the bottom. Now if you own other sprays as well as Lindy's, you'll know that generally speaking, their mists very rarely ever clog through the sprayer nozzle. But it does happen every once in a while. So storing them sideways actually prevents a lot of that from happening. So that's the reason why I really like this system. Not only that, if I have, and you'll notice some of my bottles actually have labels on them. Not all of them do, because I've been lazy and just haven't labeled the rest of them. But eventually they will all get labeled. So as I said, it does work. And can it leak? Yes, it can. Generally speaking, it's because of user error. I've never had a bottle leak on me that wasn't closed properly. And the only time that you would really have that happen is if you open your bottle. Right? Now, I mean, often we do that so that we can do splatters all over the paper, you know, that kind of stuff, or pour a little bit out for trying to paint with the spray. But generally speaking, your bottle is closed. So as long as your bottle is closed up tightly, you're not going to have a leak. I've only had, in the last 4 years, 2 leaky bottles, and both of them I know for a fact that they ended up leaking because I had opened the top and didn't screw it back on properly. So yes, storing your sprays sideways works really good. So this Carousel, which I really love, and I don't know if it's still available, holds an awful lot of sprays. I haven't counted them, but it holds a lot. So like I mentioned before, this holds all of my Starburst sprays, all of my Moonshadow mists, as well as some of the Glitz spritz. I have holes here and there because I don't actually own all of the different colors, and like this one here, that's a reminder to order it. For me, it's turned in backwards, so I can remember to order that. So that's where I store the Lindy's with the mica. Now moving on, let's see if I can get you in shot here. Over here, I'm going to turn my camera a little bit here. Alright, up at the top I have the Delusions and some of the Ranger sprays up there. Those bottles will not fit in the paint caddy. They're too big around. So far, yeah, they're about the only ones I think that won't fit besides the Tattered Angels, but they're a totally different shaped bottle, so of course it wouldn't fit in there. So now right below my Delusions and Ranger mists, I have all my Tim Holtz Distress inks, and I have to tell you that I had actually purchased a organizer for those inks, and I really liked it when I first got it, but the kind that I purchased was made specifically to hold the ink pads as well as the re-inkers, and I don't own that many re-inkers. I just found that it was a waste of space and wished that I had not purchased it that way. So about a month or so ago I got tired of it and I took them out, and I went back to the system that I had before, which was to just put them on the shelf so that you can see them. Now, as you can see in front of there, I have my ink blending tools on the Carousel, as well as some date stamps, and there's actually a few word stamps in there. And then down towards the bottom right there, that's Sharpies and Bic markers and stuff like that. Had those in my stash forever, and that's a good place as any to put them. I keep my, right below the Distress inks, I keep all of my Lindy's Flat Fabios, and of course all these, with the exception of the Carousel, all of these inks or sprays are all in Roy G. Biv order, and then neutrals at the end. And I do that because it's easier for me to find the colors that I need, and as well, the reason that I keep my Flat Fabios over there is because I generally use the Flat Fabios in a different way than I do the Starbursts. And I want to, if I'm looking specifically for flat color, then I want to make sure I have that separated from the sprays that have the mica powders. So I keep all of my Flat Fabios right in there. And then right below that are all my permanent ink pads, StazOn's, Memento, Ranger Archival, and a few miscellaneous. And then down at the very bottom, which you might be able to see right there, I have some jars that I fancied up, and they hold a few things. So now I got to move the camera again so you can see the other angle, and again I'm going to try not to make you crazy. Alright, I'm going to pull back a little bit. These are crates that I purchased at Michael's at least 6 months ago, I want to say. And they sat for a long time with nothing in them until I finally figured out how I was going to use them. So I turned them on their sides and decided that I would put my distress paints, because I hadn't been using them, because I kept forgetting about them. So I thought I would put my distress paints in there, and then as time has passed along, I have accumulated more sprays. I am one of the creative team members for Flying Unicorn, and if you purchase Flying Unicorn kits, you know that there's always some kind of spray or mixed media product included in the kit. So I've accumulated more sprays and more mists. So this is where I spray anything. This This is where I place anything that is not Lindy's or Ranger product, because I don't have that many of them. So once again, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I think it's a little blurry, so we'll back up. So I have them, all these sprays as well. So I have shimmers in here. I have some 13 Arts in here. I do have one Tattered Angel somewhere. I have a few bottles of my own sprays that I've made. Heidi Swap. A few different odds and ends. So, and I have those in Roy G. Biv as well. And then the rest of the crates have miscellaneous items that I want to make sure that I'm using, as well as some mason jars that holds odds and ends. So that's how I'm storing all my sprays. I hope that you will look into the possibility of storing your sprays like this. I mean, I don't know about you, but well, if you've seen my room, you know that I don't have the wall space to have shelves so I can display all my sprays in single file in a single row so that I can see all the colors, and that's very important to me. I need to be able to see stuff, otherwise I just won't use it. I'll forget all about it. So, and having my inks and sprays this way reminds me that I have them so I can use them. So this is one way of storing your sprays. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room. I mean, honestly, I could probably put all of it on one shelf, but I choose to have it separated out because it's just that much easier for myself. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If this is something that you want to try, I don't think that you will be disappointed by having your sprays laying down sideways. Just remember, if you open your bottle, make sure that the cap is placed on tightly before you put it back in your storage container. Otherwise you will have a mess. And honestly, it really would be user error, just like it was for me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for subscribing and commenting, and have a great day.